because it's only two of us today. Well, it's three of us today. Some questions I will be answering right off the top. We have other facilitators in here. My beautiful sister Amina and my boss, Mr. Dante Jackson. He will be in here. He's going to probably come in later to talk and give you information as well. But guys, I promise you, just about every question you have, I will probably go over it. So you can hold your questions to the very end, because I will have a question and answer section with you where I will be talking to you one-on-one. If you have any questions that are going to be personal and that's identifiable to you in your case or what you have going on, I don't want you to share any of those questions on the line with everyone to know, because I don't want everybody in your business, okay? We don't want everybody in your business, okay? So I do want to tell you this, guys. It's gonna be fun. Don't look at it as the time that you're gonna spend. The things I'm going to share with you, if you have any of the issues that I'm going to go over with, by the time you get done with this class today, they won't be issues for you anymore. And then I want you to tell your friends, tell your children, tell your loved ones, so you can help them break a cycle. Because my motto is, if you can rent, guys, you could be paying a mortgage. You know the importance of keeping a roof over your head. So guys, let me tell you something. There is nothing that separates you from a homeowner except for practices that you need to correct. That's the only thing. So if you've been renting and paying to your landlord on time and taking whatever they give you and having to live in situations where you've had slumlords, that's not going to be anymore. I will not preach today. I do not preach, but I do believe in certain principles of life and of the Bible that we should apply to ourselves on a daily. And you know, one of my biggest things is we have not because we ask not. So we're asking to be homeowners this year. 2020 has been a rough year, but we're going to change it. We're going to change the narrative for ourselves and make it something positive. So I declare and decree that you're on this line with me today, you will be a homeowner. If not by the end of 2020, definitely before the end of 2021, you will be a homeowner. So I just want to say welcome again. Please go in and download the workbook. And if you go to download anything, because we know that we've been getting some information that we've been trying to be spammed, we will never ask you for money or credit card or anything like that. Our workbook is totally free to our participants who will be members of the NACA program. So if you click on there and you see something asking for a credit card, that's not the correct link. We do have the correct link in our comment section, so you can download that link. Go through the book. I will be going through the book, hitting the most important points and things that I want you to know about. But guys, like I said again, I want you to read that book. The book has tools that will help you moving thus forward with your home buying process. Now, this live, I want to also let you know, yes, Nikki, in Jesus' name, girl, yes. This live, I also want you to know, is for people who do not have a NACA ID number. If you are here and you need a refresher because things have changed, we have loosened some of our restrictions that we used to have. So if you wanted a refresher, that's fine. But if you already have a NACA ID number, you don't necessarily have to continue and get ready to set up. What you would need to do, you can email services@NACA.com, because this is almost like a social security number. Once you have a NACA ID number, it stays with you, whether you've gone through home save or just the regular purchase portion of the program. And we can go in, and our member services department can go in and help you as well. I also want to let you know that on our website, we have valuable videos that also give you a breakdown of anything that I may go over today that you didn't quite understand. So our workbook has a plethora of information for you, as well as our website. So those are two things that you really going to want to get acquainted with while you go through this process. Okay? So we're finna get ready to get started. And I know you was like, golly, all that talking she just did and we ain't started yet. No, we're about to get started. And we're going to get started with the video. And it's basically telling you all about NACA, how we got started, our CEO's fight for economic justice, and for how he went in and coined the phrase predatory lending, and also how he went in and set NACA as one of, or now as almost the nation's standard of lending. And it's the standard of lending that should have been practiced all along. One of the great things about NACA, guys, we look at you as a person. We are a character-based lending company, not a credit-based lending company. So we would never look at you as a number or a score. We look at you as who you are, because we know a lot of times things happen in our past with our credit, and it's staying on your credit for 7 years, so that's going to make your score stagnant. So in the industry standards, you'll be having bad credit, but honestly, you work every day, you pay your bills, you deserve the same chance at home ownership as anybody else. And that's what NACA does. NACA gives us an even playing field, and it's for everybody, not just for some guys, but for everybody. So guys, by now, you all should know that you should have your pen and paper. You should have your workbook downloaded. You should have whatever makes you comfortable, whatever drink, whatever you need that's going to keep you enthralled in me and in this presentation. If you have to get up for any point, anytime, it's no problem. You can also follow along in our book. I'm going to be going over by the book, and then you'll also see the pages in the book as well. So guys, we're going to sit back and relax, and we're going to enjoy.
Assistance Corporation of America, NACA,
Sharks do bite.
is a non-profit organization whose mission is to end financial exploitation and to stabilize your neighborhoods. We provide the best mortgage product in America, while NACA provides comprehensive housing services. It is first and foremost a confrontational community advocacy organization.
NACA was founded by Bruce Marks more than 30 years ago. He continues to be the CEO and visionary.
Come on, we're going! It is a war waged on many fronts. We take the junkyard dog approach. Once we grab on, we never let go, no matter how long it takes.
NACA is the outgrowth of the Hotel Workers Union Local 26.
The overwhelming majority of our membership are paying somewhere between 60 and 70% of their income towards housing.
Local 26 undertook a 5-year campaign to provide housing assistance for its members. As part of this fight, hundreds of workers went to Washington to change the federal labor law.
Strong enough to challenge the law, strong enough to change a stupid law that says we have no right to negotiate what's good for our family.
In 1990, President Bush changed the federal labor law that hadn't been changed in more than 20 years, and for the first time, a local union was responsible. Now, unions could negotiate, provide down payment and closing cost assistance to workers to make homeownership a reality for working people.
We've always taken the NACA goal is to set a standard for the country. But if you're going to be out there fighting the financial predators, you got to take on the big ones. You can't take the easy road. Well, that sends a message to the institutions out there that says, when NACA takes you on, we're going to do whatever it takes to win.
When you own a piece of the rock, when you own your neighborhood,
NACA was the first to spearhead campaigns against predatory lenders. It coined the term predatory lending. Lenders set up borrowers to fail through high interest rates, outrageous fees, and unreasonable terms. Whether it's called loan sharking, subprime lending, or payday lending, the fundamental issue remains the same: the taking from working people and minorities to benefit the wealthy. This is a continuation and expansion of the wealth disparity gap.
How many of you are ready to take the blood-sucking profiteers on? How many of you are down for the fight?
The first target was the largest and most aggressive predatory lender, Fleet Bank. They cut off credit to minority communities while providing lines of credit to loan sharks.
We're staying here to meet with
No, you're not staying here to meet with me.
Then you're going to have to arrest us.
In Georgia, where Fleet Finance is based, more than 20,000 borrowers think those sales look more like fins, the fins of loan sharks.
There really were substantial abuses within the industry which wound up causing people to lose their homes for no legitimate reason.
It is a wake-up call to Congress.
This nationwide battle took 4.5 years. It included demonstrations and confrontations wherever Fleet was active. We won the war.
It is welcome news for us that it's decided to embark on this program to commit $8 billion for community lending.
As part of the victory, Fleet not only pledges $8 billion to add to its community lending, but contributes millions to settle lawsuits and funds $140 million to establish NACA's Best in America mortgage program. NACA also convinced Congress to pass new legislation.
I have prepared legislation that will provide an important first step towards filling in the gaps in consumer protection. It's called the Home Ownership and Equity Protection Act of 1993.
The next target was Barnett Bank and its predatory subsidiary, Equicredit.
The group says it's a grassroots organization that uses persistence to force banks to change their lending practices. In Jacksonville, the bank they've targeted is Barnett.
We believe in confrontation. We believe in being at the banks wherever they go. We go to the analyst meetings. We go to their annual meeting. We go to where they make presentations. And we have a long attention span.
Barnett succumbs to the pressure. NACA exposes and changes Barnett's predatory subsidiary, Equicredit, and Barnett funds $20 million to the NACA mortgage. First Union was next. In 1995, it was one of the nation's largest lenders and one of the most racist.
He calls himself a bank terrorist, but he uses words, not bombs.
A protest is planned tomorrow against one of Charlotte's biggest banks, First Union.
First Union has some of the worst minority lending practices.
You check us out, Fast Eddie!
Fast Eddie is First Union Chief Executive Ed Crutchfield, and he's getting a lot of attention. These people say First Union stands out, and this battle is getting personal. First Union CEO Ed Crutchfield is on protesters' wanted flyers. They don't respect working people because they want to lend to their own.
NACA forces First Union to lend to minority borrowers, and it funds $150 million to the NACA mortgage. CEO Ed Crutchfield, the target of the campaign, is personally impacted.
Time investigation. It manufactures some of the most popular cars in America.
Ford, quality is job one.
But there's another side of the Ford Motor Company you may not know about.
Ford is absolutely a loan shark.
Ford is one of the largest money lenders in the country, and workers inside the company say it used aggressive tactics to put people into debt.
We'd say, what a sucker. Cha-ching. We just made the company some money.
They eat you up and they spit you out. That's Ford Motor Company.
A lot of people are getting fed up with Ford. In Atlanta, thousands packed a church to bear witness against the way they say Ford does business.
They have ripped off our community. They have stolen the wealth out of our neighborhood.
This man is also going after Ford. Bruce Marks, a community activist who has pressured corporations to make available more than $1 billion in low-cost mortgages.
Remember that day, Ford Motor Company? vicious. I have a loan with them, too, in fact, and it's 24% interest. That's what 24.
NACA is also victorious against Ford. It reduces interest rates for hundreds of thousands of borrowers, funds $100 million to the NACA mortgage, and divests the Associates, then the country's largest finance company. Battles, we recognize that the power of greedy lenders, investors, rating agencies, and others, supported by the government, created a predatory lending wave that could not be stopped. The mortgage and financial crisis was coming, since homebuyers were being lured into mortgages that were structured to fail. On September 12, 2000, Bruce Marks testified in Congress, warning lawmakers.
Without such controls, Fannie Mae...
Marks was one of the first to predict the crisis, which would have a devastating impact on homeowners and communities nationwide.
Participation in these schemes by the GSEs poses potential risk for the housing and banking industry and for the economy in general.
By 2000, Mark's prediction came true. Millions of people were unable to make their monthly payments and were at risk of foreclosure.
Predatory lending has come back with a vengeance.
On August 23, 2007, at the National Press Club in D.C., NACA announces a campaign against Countrywide.
We're back. And now the fight is going after the biggest player out there, and that is Countrywide Financial.
At the time, it was considered untouchable and the gold standard in lending.
They're demanding Countrywide save base and their homes by rewriting mortgages.
NACA got what it demanded. Countrywide signs a legally binding agreement with NACA to reduce interest rates and outstanding principal amounts, making their predatory mortgages affordable. Countrywide participates in NACA's Save the Dream events to modify mortgages. NACA's next target, Bear Stearns.
The Street, not Wall Street. Angry homeowners today storming the Bear Stearns building in Manhattan.
Let's make sure that they hear it. Let's spread out, and we're staying.
The government is going to do anything. There's a lot of working women and men who worked hard to buy their homes and to provide a roof over the head of their families.
It's an unprecedented giveaway of taxpayers' money. Why should our hard-earned money be used to benefit and subsidize the people that created the mortgage crisis?
Bear Stearns signs a legally binding agreement with NACA to reduce interest rates and outstanding principal amounts, making their predatory mortgages affordable. Bear Stearns participates in NACA's Save the Dream events to modify mortgages. The backbone of NACA's aggressive nonviolent advocacy is to hold the decision makers personally responsible for their actions. Herb Allison, CEO of Fannie Mae, which sets the industry standard for lending, confronted by NACA as we blocked their main entrance.
Look us in the eye. Don't look at your bottom line. Look us in the eye. And we're going to make you responsible for what you've done, and you're going to bring some solutions to the table.
Fannie Mae signs a legally binding agreement with NACA to reduce interest rates and outstanding amounts, making their predatory mortgages affordable. Fannie Mae participates in NACA's Save the Dream events to modify mortgages.
They are on the verge of losing their own homes, so they decide to move in here. This is the Greenwich, Connecticut home of William Fry, a hedge fund manager who stopped people from renegotiating subprime mortgages and avoiding foreclosure. Fry is suing Bank of America to keep it from issuing these new affordable loans to owners in need.
We work hard to buy these homes, and then we got tricked into these predatory loans, and now we can't afford them, and they don't want to help us.
And the lenders say they don't want to modify loans because they're afraid of being sued by Bill Fry. Well, we say Bill Fry needs to be afraid that people know where he lives.
Bill Fry's lawsuit fails. He stops his advocacy against homeowners.
They're causing financial violence on us. Right. So it's important that we see where the predators live. This is John Mack's house. John Mack, he is the CEO of Morgan Stanley. They own Saxon Mortgage, and Saxon Mortgage services hundreds of thousands of
refuse to rupture those mortgages to make them affordable over the long term. We're going to do a picket line around his house. Let's go. Yeah, around.
Take a look at me. I'm your problem now.
I get a call on my cell phone 20 minutes later that we want to work this thing out.
This is like the rise of the proletariat. We've seen this before historically, but certainly not recently in our country.
Well, when it says that we were disciplined and organized and we pierced that veil, we pierced that comfort level that they have, but $400 million buys them privacy. No longer.
Saxon Mortgage signs a legally binding agreement with NACA to reduce interest rates and outstanding principal amounts, making their predatory mortgages affordable. Saxon participates in NACA's Save the Dream events to modify mortgages.
They got the money, but they're not giving it to the people. Martin Luther King stood for something. Jesus stood for something. We stand up for something.
Chase Bank signs a legally binding agreement with NACA to reduce interest rates and outstanding principal amounts, making their predatory mortgages affordable. Chase participates in NACA's Save the Dream events to modify mortgages. With legally binding agreements with all the major lenders and investors, NACA did what no one else thought possible. We organized massive events at convention centers nationwide, providing same-day solutions for homeowners with unaffordable mortgages.
So what I do is I take your mortgage payment and I reduce it by the total deficit that you have.
These events, taking place over at least 5 days each, attracted tens of thousands of homeowners at risk of foreclosure. At each event, NACA counselors teamed up with lenders who had hundreds of staff on site to provide affordable solutions.
That's a good thing for the banks. We do the work for them. It's a win-win situation.
Saving homes and saving lives.
It's a last-ditch effort for hundreds of homeowners on the verge of foreclosure. More than 1,000 people wait in line downtown in hopes they can save their homes.
Hundreds of thousands of people fighting to keep their homes from foreclosure. It's become a nearly insurmountable challenge.
You can see there are thousands of people. They're expecting tens of thousands of people here to get their mortgages. Dozens of people are spending the night outside in the cold and rain, hoping to hold on to their homes. This is a lot, and camped out in order to guarantee their spot in line.
Losing their homes. Thousands pleading with bankers today, hoping to catch a break.
See people from different walks of life, all in the same predicament.
Across the country are converting on South Florida. They're looking for help to stay in their homes.
Very clear picture of the level of strain and suffering the foreclosure crisis is creating for families. Look no further than Daly City.
We are inside the convention center where the NACA...
This could be the last chance of saving a place they live.
This facility is packed with people looking to refinance their mortgage and save.
Wow, Diana, look at that crowd behind you.
It's unbelievable, Michelle.
Just take a look around. Look at it. Friday night, what are you doing? Look at what these people are doing, and they will probably leave here. First stop for what is really a mobile servicing center. Plans are being made to take it on the road across the country.
This is the devastation that these banks have caused. No one should have sleeping here overnight, staying 24, 48 hours just to save their homes. And everybody who's tried to work with the banks has failed. And this is the consequence. This is like a war zone, and it's a war zone in America.
Despite the opposition from government and others, the results were extraordinary. Over the 144 Save the Dream events, more than 250,000 homeowners at risk of foreclosure obtained affordable same-day solutions, and many more obtained modifications through NACA's Home Save program. Homeowners were able to reduce their interest rate to as low as 2% and sometimes lower their outstanding principal, saving hundreds and often more than $1,000 in their monthly mortgage payments.
Our mortgage was $4,200. It is now $2,100.
saving me $1,000 a month.
My monthly payment has been reduced $3,000. It's amazing. Thank you.
They brought our interest rate down from 10% to 2%. We're saving $1,100 a month on our loan.
If it wasn't for NACA, I won't be this happy today.
My mortgage payment used to be $2,235, and they lowered it to $1,309. And you guys just hold on. There is help and there is hope at the end of the rainbow.
There is a CRA protester who spends 4 years harassing a bank and a bank's president. Finally, the bank craters and gives $1.4 million, gives them $200,000 to set up their organization. They now got 20 offices, lending $3.5 billion.
A decade later, NACA has more than 50 offices nationwide, and major lenders have committed more than $13 billion. We provide the best mortgage in America. No down payment, no closing cost, no perfect credit, and always at a below market fixed rate.
My interest rate is 2.75. I bought it down by 1%, and my monthly payment is $11.32.
My interest rate is 1.75%. I pay $628 a month.
Brought down my interest rate to 2.875, and my payment is $675 a month.
The interest rate is 1.75, and my payment is $902.
Interest half of percent, and I'm paying $710 a month.
I have an interest rate 0.87, and I pay $580.
My interest rate was 3.5. I pay $686 a month.
NACA is absolutely the real deal.
I have a mortgage payment of $615. Being this young and going in on a house purchase by myself, I didn't think that was possible. But NACA is truly amazing.
I've been in America for 10 years now, and this is probably the first American dream I've experienced.
I really did get my dream home. It was everything. Thank you.
Bank of America has been our largest partner over more than 20 years. In 1995, it committed $500 million to the NACA mortgage. 4 years later, $3 billion. Another $3 billion 4 years after that, and in 2011, it raised their commitment to $3.5 billion. In total, $10 billion to help minority and low-income borrowers afford homes.
By identifying qualified applicants, giving them the financial management skills they need, and creating a financial safety net for those who need a little help in crisis, that the Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America was just the partner I was looking for.
Loan amount $252. My mortgage payment is $1,250, and just in a year's time, the value of the house has gone up to $340 already. My loan is $200. My interest rate is 8%, and my mortgage payments is $0. I own a duplex, and my other renter is covering my costs.
NACA has built the strongest foundation in the mortgage industry for lending to low and moderate income borrowers. We've added a 15-year mortgage that allows you to build wealth quickly.
0.05 interest rate for 15 years. It's a blessing. It's fantastic.
Another program allows Section 8 participants to use their Section 8 rental payments as mortgage payments. Called HOT PHA, it provides unprecedented homeownership opportunities. NACA continues to develop its state-of-the-art operation